campaign was massive and probably had a multi-million-dollar budget, a large staff of designers, administrators, editors, etc. A-list celebrities Nicole Kidman and Bella Hadid as models, and collaborated with one of the biggest name brands in the world, Adidas. Why risk this kind of backlash? Why include the Supreme Court ruling referencing CP? Of all the books to use as props, why use one where children are displayed, drenched in blood, without clothes, in horrifying circumstances? Well, some believe the answer lies with several elite individuals that work at different levels of the iconic fashion brand, from design to casting, having connections to a dark, seedy underworld of human trafficking and worse, unspeakable offenses. Before we explore those people, let's break down the images that started all of it, the initial clue that piqued the interest of concerned internet users in mid-November, the gift shop photo shoot. The first couple images of course show children posed with teddy bears that had black eyes, fishnet tops, leather harnesses, or a general BDSM theme, which obviously disturbed many people. It's very strange to think of combining children's items with adult items linked to sex acts, and then to have a child pose with it is at best in extremely poor taste. But this image alone is brimming with strange references. First, of course, we still have the inclusion of the BDSM bear, but look here. In the background, we see the chair has been covered in caution-style Balenciaga tape. In the foreground, we see a roll of the same Balenciaga tape, but it's not the same. This roll has an extra A, spelling Baal. Baal is a Canaanite deity dating back to Carthage in 800 BC, also sometimes referred to as Moloch. People were often worked up into great frenzies at the prospects of displeasing Baal, a god they believed could cause earthquakes and famine. In times of great turbulence, human sacrifices, particularly children, were made to this deity. The Carthaginians didn't want to sacrifice their own children, so eventually they began buying children or raising children as servants to be sacrificed in their own children's place. The mass ritualistic sacrifice of children to Baal was once thought to be a rumor, started by the Roman soldiers in order to make their enemies seem barbaric and cruel. According to the rumors, the children's ashen remains would be placed in small special urns and buried in the funerary Acropolis. However, during recent excavations, a great number of small urns were found covering the area of the funerary Acropolis, buried at 9 different levels, seemingly proving the early existence of Baal worship. To summarize, it's a bizarre inclusion in the same image as a young child. Up on the wall, to the left of the child, we can see a red face. Some theorists were quick to compare this face to the mythical rumored contents of a certain misplaced laptop. We aren't going there, for obvious reasons, but the blood-red face still seems disturbing and out of place. To the right on the wall, we have another odd drawing, this one again featuring the red face, or some kind of demonic horned creature. Then we have the white rabbit. And right above the white rabbit, we can observe probably the most overt example. But what does it all mean? These images feel off for obvious reasons. Some would look right past them, but many people immediately felt as though the brand had crossed a line. Maybe, by taking a look at some of the key players, we can get a better idea of what the intentions behind the photo shoots were. The first person Balenciaga began to shift the blame to was the gift shop photographer, Gabriel Galimberti. The photographer actually made a public statement to the media on November 23rd. Galimberti told Newsweek he is not responsible for the images. Quote, "I am not in a position to comment. I am not in a position to comment on Balenciaga's choices, but I must stress that I was not entitled in whatsoever manner to neither choose the products, nor the models, nor the combination of the same. As a photographer, I was only and solely requested to light the given scene and take shots according to my signature style. As usual, the direction of the campaign and of the shooting are not on the hands of the photographer." End quote. Galimberti previously published a photo collection titled Toy Stories that feature children in their home surrounded by their toys. He added to his statement, quote, "I suspect that any person prone to pedophilia searches on the web and has unfortunately a too easy access to images completely different than mine, absolutely explicit in their awful content. Lynchings like these are addressed against the wrong targets and distract from the real problem and criminals." End quote. Galimberti also stressed that he was not involved in the Balenciaga Adidas campaign that included the Supreme Court ruling and the art books. Those images were captured by New York City-based photographer Chris Maggio. At the time of recording this video, Maggio has not publicly addressed the backlash to his advertisements. But who is Maggio? Curious Light on Twitter found Maggio through Galimberti's mention of him, and found this photo shoot he did that features a young girl in similar framing to the gift shop photos, a woman with an uncanny valley look. and a picture of a Czech passport on top of a Disney Cruise Line pamphlet. According to some of their old itineraries, Disney Cruises used to use Little St. James Island as a snorkeling stop. During their search into the details of this photo set, Curious Light found that the photos had been styled by Lada Volkova, one of Balenciaga's main stylists, since 2014. Volkova maintained close ties to Gosha Rubchinsky, a streetwear designer that allegedly pressured a 16-year-old minor to send lewd pictures of himself over Instagram. The accusations seem to have been lost in the fray, as Gosha's representative told GQ he often casts young men through Instagram DMs, which according to him is standard. Volkova claims to not have worked closely with Balenciaga for some time, but has also said she works with the brand as a consultant, styling for collections, fashion shows, and in casting. Her style seems to be centered around violence, abuse, and domination, usually featuring very young-looking boys. Like when she posted pictures of a juvenile detention facility, and then what appeared to be real blood on the floor. Or what is obviously a young girl's bedroom, completely torn apart and covered in bloodstains. A completely photorealistic, full frontal of a young boy who has been disemboweled. A young girl who has been taped to a chair. Or an illustration of someone taped face down on a table. Volkova also heavily features teddy bears, including one in bondage ropes. She even posted this image with the hashtag Moloch. A picture shared by Volkova depicts a monstrous bear in the process of consuming a girl. Another image features a creepy, dark, moldy room with a goat head on an upside-down pentagram. The common theme is seemingly constantly a child in danger, distress, or pain. She even posts an image that represents the brain's activity during a pain response. She pretty openly posts images of bathhouses, which are commonly used as brothels. One user speculates that she may be bringing these young boys to these locations. Just 2 hours after Curious Light posted the thread about Volkova, her Instagram went private. Granted, if you began receiving a litany of comments and DMs regarding a potentially career-ending scandal, you may act drastically as well. But
you want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth. Oh, gee, I'd like to ask for recess. You can't handle the truth.
I think we've covered this, haven't we?
I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to. You can't handle the truth. Are we clear, Colonel? You can't handle the truth. Did you order the complaint? You're goddamn right I did.
You don't have to answer that question.
You're goddamn right I did.
I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom.
You can't handle the truth. Are we clear? You can't handle the truth. I'm being charged with a crime.